Captain Lee Taman was drinking his morning coffee when the alarms started screaming. The hot liquid spilled across his desk as he jumped up from his chair. Red lights flashed all around the control room of Earth Defense Command headquarters. In Seoul, what's happening? He shouted over the noise. Sir, we have a massive object in orbit. Technician Choi Sang-woo called out from his station. His young face was pale with shock. It just appeared out of nowhere. Lee ran to the main screen. His eyes went wide. A huge ship hung in space above Earth. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built. The ship looked like a giant metal whale with strange markings on its dark surface. How big is it? Lee asked. 3 kilometers long. Sir Choi replied. Maybe bigger. Dr. Park Hyejin rushed into the room. She was the base's top scientist who studied alien life. Her hands shook as she looked at the screen. This is it, she whispered. First contact. Get me General Kim, we ordered. Within minutes, General Kim Do-hyun appeared on the communication screen. His old face was serious but calm. Captain Lee, what's our status? Unknown alien vessel in orbit, sir. No hostile actions so far. Any communication attempts? None yet, sir. As if the aliens heard him, every screen in the command center suddenly changed. A face appeared, but it was not human. The creature had green, scaly skin and yellow eyes. Its head was long and narrow, like a snake. When it spoke, its voice was deep and strange. People of Earth, the alien said. I am Ambassador Veltar of the Hegemony Coalition. I request an immediate meeting with your leaders. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the screen. I come in peace, Veltar continued. We must discuss important matters about your world's future. General Kim's voice came through the speakers. This is General Kim Do-hyun of United Earth Defense Command. We welcome you, Ambassador Veltar. Where would you like to meet? I will come to your largest government building, Veltar replied. Prepare a suitable meeting room. The screen went black. Well, Dr. Park said. That was direct. 3 hours later, Lee stood in the main meeting room with Dr. Park and General Kim. They had prepared everything they could think of. The room had the best air filters, special chairs that could hold different body types, and translation equipment. A bright light appeared in the center of the room. When it faded, Ambassador Veltar stood there. He was tall, almost 3 meters, and wore a flowing robe covered in symbols. His yellow eyes looked around the room with what seemed like confusion. Welcome to Earth, General Kim said, stepping forward. Please, sit wherever you're comfortable. Veltar moved to a chair and sat down carefully. His movements were slow and careful, like he was afraid of something. Thank you for meeting with me, Veltar said. I must be honest with you. This is not how these meetings usually go. What do you mean? Dr. Park asked. When the Hegemony Coalition discovers a new species, they are usually afraid. They hide, they beg for mercy. Veltar's snake-like head tilted. You invited me for coffee. Lee laughed. We're curious about you too. We've been wondering when we'd meet our neighbors. Neighbors? Veltar repeated the word like it was strange. Yes, General Kim said. We've been listening to radio signals from space for many years. We know there are other intelligent species out there. We've been waiting to meet you. Veltar's eyes grew wider. You've been listening to our communications. Of course, Dr. Park said. How else would we learn about the galaxy? We've been preparing for this day for decades. Preparing how? Veltar asked slowly. General Kim smiled. Would you like to see? They led Veltar to the command center's main display wall. Lee pressed some buttons, and star maps appeared on the screens. The maps showed Earth's solar system and the areas around it. These are our current exploration zones, Lee explained. We have ships studying 12 different star systems right now. Ships? Veltar's voice was quiet. Oh yes, Dr. Park said excitedly. We have over 200 ships capable of traveling between stars. Most are small exploration vessels, but some are quite large. Veltar stared at the maps. You have expansion plans? Well, yes, General Kim said. Earth is getting crowded. We need room to grow. We've identified 47 worlds that could support human life with some work. Some work? Veltar asked. Terraforming, Lee said. Changing the atmosphere and environment to make planets livable for humans. It's one of our specialties. Veltar was very quiet for a long moment. Then he asked, how long has your species been capable of interstellar travel? About 60 years for basic travel, Dr. Park replied. But we've really improved our technology in the last 20 years. Our new ships are much faster and more efficient, and you've been, expanding, This whole time, of course, General Kim said. That's what intelligent species do, isn't it? Explore, learn, grow, find new homes. Veltar's yellow eyes looked around the room at all the humans. They were smiling at him, excited to share their achievements. They seemed proud of their expansion into space, Ambassador Lee said. We're very interested in learning about your Hegemony Coalition. How many worlds do you control? What are your expansion plans? Maybe we can work together. Work together, Veltar repeated. Yes, Dr. Park said. We could share technology, explore new areas together. maybe even establish joint colonies on suitable worlds. Joint colonies. Think about it, General Kim said, walking over to point at the star map. With our terraforming technology and your advanced ships, we could settle hundreds of worlds. The galaxy is huge, there's room for everyone. Velt stood up suddenly. His tall body was shaking slightly. You want to, expand into the galaxy? Well, yes, Lee said. Don't you but you're a primitive species. Veltar said, you should be afraid. You should be asking for protection. The humans looked at each other with confusion. Afraid of what? Dr. Park asked. Of us, of the galaxy, of the unknown. Why would we be afraid? General Kim asked. The galaxy is full of opportunities. New worlds to explore, new species to meet, new knowledge to gain. Veltar sat back down heavily. His voice was very quiet when he spoke again. In all my years as an ambassador, I have never met a species like yours. Every other species we've encountered has been cautious, defensive, focused on protecting their homeworld. That seems limiting, Lee said. You really want to expand into the galaxy? Veltar asked. It's what we do, Dr. Park said simply. Humans explore, we always have. Veltar put his scaly hands over his face. Oh no, is something wrong? General Kim asked. Veltar looked up at them with his yellow eyes wide with what looked like fear. You want to invade the galaxy? Invade? Lee said no, we want to join it. But Veltar was already reaching for his communication device with shaking hands. Ambassador Veltar stood in his private room on the human base. His hands shook as he activated his communication device. The blue light flickered, then showed the face of his aide, Vekmer, back on the ship. Ambassador, Vekmer said, how did the surrender meeting go? There was no surrender, Veltar said quietly. Vekmer, we have a serious problem. What do you mean? The humans. They want to expand into the galaxy. Vekmer's green face went pale. That's impossible. New species are always afraid. They stay on their homeworlds and ask for protection. Not these humans, Veltar said. They have 200 starships. They're already exploring 12 star systems. They want to change planets to make them suitable for human life. 200 ships. Dachmar's voice was barely a whisper. And they've been listening to our communications for decades. They know about the Hegemony Coalition. They know about other species, and they're not afraid. Before Vekmer could reply, someone knocked on Veltar's door. Come in, Veltar called. A young human entered. It was Technician Choi Sang-woo, the one who had first detected Veltar's ship. He carried a data pad and had a big smile on his face. Ambassador Veltar Choi said excitedly, I hope I'm not bothering you. I wanted to ask about your ship's technology. What about it? Veltar asked carefully. Well, you're faster than drive is interesting, but it seems slow. Our ships can travel much faster. Would you like to see our engine designs? Maybe we can help you improve your technology. Veltar stared at the young human. On the communication screen, Vekmer's mouth fell open. Your ships are faster than ours, Veltar asked. Oh yes, Choi said proudly, much faster. We had to make them fast because we have so many places to explore. Would you like to see our newest ship? It can travel from Earth to the nearest star in just 2 days. 2 days. Vekmer whispered from the screen. Our ships take a week. We'd love to share our technology with you, Choi continued. In exchange, maybe you could tell us about other species in the galaxy. We're planning our first major expansion wave next year, and we want to make sure we don't accidentally settle on worlds that belong to someone else. Expansion wave, Veltar repeated. Yes, we're sending colony ships to 15 different worlds. Each ship carries 10,000 people and everything needed to build new cities. Veltar sat down heavily. Vekmer, I'll call you back. The screen went dark. Choi looked concerned. Are you feeling okay, Ambassador? You look sick. I'm fine, Veltar lied. Tell me more about these colony ships. They're amazing, Choi said, his eyes bright with excitement. Each ship is like a small city. They have farms, factories, schools, everything. The colonists can live on the ship for years while they build their new world. And you're sending these ships to 15 worlds for now, Choi said. If everything goes well, we'll send more ships to more worlds. Commander Yoon Ji-hai says we could have colonies on 100 worlds within 20 years. Commander Yoon, she's our military strategist. She's the one who planned our expansion routes. She's really smart. Would you like to meet her? Before Veltar could answer, Choi was already speaking into his communication device. Commander Yoon, could you come to Ambassador Veltar's room? He'd like to meet you. A few minutes later, a woman in a military uniform entered. Commander Yoon was small but moved with confidence. She saluted Veltar politely. Ambassador, it's an honor to meet you, she said. I hope you're enjoying your visit to Earth. Commander Veltar said, Technician Choi tells me you've planned expansion routes for humanity. That's right, Yoon said we've been working on this for 10 years. We've identified the best worlds for human settlement and planned the most efficient routes to reach them. She activated a holographic display from her datapad. Stars appeared in the air, connected by glowing lines. These are our primary expansion corridors, she explained. We chose routes that avoid areas where we detected radio signals from other species. We don't want to cause conflicts. You're trying to avoid other species, Veltar asked, surprised. For now, Yoon said. We'd rather meet them properly, like we're meeting you, before we become neighbors. It's only polite, but what if they don't want you to expand in their direction? Yoon looked confused. Why wouldn't they want us as neighbors? We're friendly. We share technology. We help with terraforming projects. We're good to have around. What? If they see you as a threat, Yoon laughed. Ambassador, we're explorers, not conquerors. We just want to find new homes and make new friends. But you have military ships, Veltar pointed out. Of course, Yoon said. Space is dangerous. There are pirates, hostile environments, unknown dangers. Our military protects our exploration and colony ships. How many military ships do you have? About 50 combat vessels, Yoon said casually. Most of our ships are for exploration and colonization. Veltar's heart raced. 50 military ships was more than most Hegemony Coalition member species had. Commander Veltar said carefully. What would you do if another species told you to stop expanding? Yoon thought for a moment. I'd ask them why. If they had a good reason, maybe we could find a compromise. If they were just being selfish, she shrugged. Space is big. There's room for everyone. And if they tried to force you to stop, Yoon's expression became serious. That would be a bad decision on their part. Humans don't respond well to threats. What does that mean? It means we'd defend ourselves. Yoon said simply. We'd also start wondering what they were planning that made them so afraid of having human neighbors. Choi nodded enthusiastically. Humans are really good at defending themselves. We've had practice, Veltar asked. Wars on Earth, Choi explained. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We learned how to fight in space, underwater, in the air, on different types of planets. We're very adaptable, but now we work together. Yoon added. Earth is united. We use all that military knowledge to protect our people and our new colonies. Veltar felt cold despite the warm room. So if someone threatened humanity, all of humanity would respond, Yoon said. That's what unity means. After the humans left, Veltar immediately called Dekmer again. Dekmer, contact the Hegemony Council immediately. What should I tell them? Tell them we may have discovered a predator species. Predator species. Detmer's voice was filled with fear, but they seemed so friendly. That's what makes them dangerous, Veltar said. They don't see expansion as conquest. They see it as natural. They don't fear the galaxy. They see it as an opportunity. What do we do? Veltar looked out the window at the human city below. Thousands of humans moved through the streets, going about their daily lives. They looked so normal, so peaceful. I don't know, he admitted. In all the galaxy's history, we've never encountered a species like this one. Should we warn them about the dangers of space? Dekmer, Veltar said. Sadly, I think we're the ones in danger. On the Hegemony Coalition's capital ship, Council Elder Morden received Veltar's emergency message. The old alien had seen many first contact situations in his long life. This one was different. A predator species. Morden repeated into his communication device. Veltar, are you certain? Elder Morden, Veltar's voice came through the speakers. They have 200 starships. They're faster than ours. They're planning to colonize 100 worlds in 20 years, but surely they're afraid of the unknown. All new species are cautious. No, sir, they're excited about it. They see the galaxy as something to explore, not something to fear. Morden was quiet for a long moment. In his 300 years of life, he had overseen first contact with 67 different species. Every single one had been afraid when they learned about the galaxy. Every one had asked for protection. Tell me about their military, Morden said. 50 combat ships. But Elder, that's not the worst part. What is, they've been fighting wars for thousands of years. They know how to fight in any environment. And they're united now, all of Earth working together. Morden felt old and tired. I'll call an emergency council meeting. Back on Earth, Dr. Shin Woojin was giving Veltar a tour of the Human History Museum. Dr. Shin was a small, elderly man who loved to share knowledge about humanity's past. This section shows human expansion on Earth, Dr. Shin explained, pointing to displays showing maps and artifacts. Humans started in Africa, then spread to every continent. Every continent, Veltar asked. Oh yes, humans live in deserts, frozen lands, high mountains, small islands. We adapt to any environment. They walked to the next display. It showed pictures of ships sailing across oceans. These are exploration ships from 500 years ago, Dr. Shin said proudly. Humans have always been explorers. We crossed dangerous oceans to find new lands. What happened to the people who were already living in those new lands? Veltar asked carefully. Dr. Shin's expression became sad. Sometimes we fought, sometimes we traded, sometimes we learned from each other. Our history isn't always good, Ambassador, but we learned from our mistakes. How we learned that cooperation is better than conquest. We learned that diversity makes us stronger. That's why Earth is united now. They moved to a display about space exploration. This shows our first steps into space, Dr. Shin continued. We started with small ships, just to visit our moon. Then we built bigger ships to visit other planets in our solar system. And now, you want to visit other star systems. We already are, Dr. Shin said, but we want to do it right this time. We want to be good neighbors. What does that mean to humans? Veltar asked. It means we share knowledge, we help each other, we respect differences, we work together to solve problems. And if someone doesn't want to be neighbors, Dr. Shin thought carefully before answering, then we respect that too. Space is big enough for everyone to find their own place. But what if they try to stop you from expanding? That would be their choice, Dr. Shin said. But history shows that trying to stop human expansion usually doesn't work well for anyone. At the same time, Fleet Admiral Bae Sumin was showing Veltar Said Vekmer around Earth's Space Fleet headquarters. Admiral Bae was a strong woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. This is our main fleet coordination center, Admiral Bae explained. The room was filled with screens showing positions of ships throughout the galaxy. How many ships do you have? Vekmer asked nervously. Active ships. About 230 now, Admiral Bae said. We're building more every month. Building more, of course, our population is growing. We need more ships for exploration, more ships for defense, more ships for colonization. She pointed to a large screen showing ship construction schedules. These are our shipyards. We can build about 20 new ships per year right now. We're expanding the shipyards to build 50 ships per year. Vekmer's green face went pale. 50 ships per year. We need them, Admiral Bae said simply. We have big plans. What kind of plans? Admiral Bae activated another display. It showed the local area of the galaxy with hundreds of stars marked in different colors. Blue stars are systems we've already explored, she explained. Green stars are systems we're currently exploring. Yellow stars are systems we plan to explore in the next 5 years. Vekmer counted quickly. There were over 300 yellow stars. Red stars, Admiral Bae continued, are systems where we've detected signs of intelligent life. We'll approach those very carefully. What if the intelligent life doesn't want you to approach? Then we'll talk to them, like we're talking to you. Communication solves most problems. And if talking doesn't work, Admiral Bae looked at Vekmer seriously. Then we'll have to make some difficult decisions. But humans prefer cooperation to conflict. Prefer. Vekmer noticed the word choice. Yes, prefer, but we're very good at conflict too, if we have no choice. Back on the hegemony ship, Elder Morden was speaking with the Emergency Council. Representatives from 12 different species appeared on holographic displays around the council chamber. Fellow council members, Morden began, we face an unprecedented situation. We have discovered a species that shows characteristics of a predator civilization. Impossible, said Councillor Zeph from the Aquatic Federation. All predator species destroy themselves before achieving interstellar travel. This species is different, Morden replied. They achieved unity through cooperation, not domination. Tell us about their capabilities, requested General Orcs of the Military Alliance. 230 starships and growing. Faster than light. Technology superior to ours. Advanced terraforming capabilities. Military experience spanning thousands of years. The council chamber fell silent. What are their intentions? Asked Ambassador Lyra of the Peaceful Worlds Coalition. They want to expand throughout the galaxy. They see it as natural and inevitable. Do they show aggressive tendencies? General Orcs asked. Not directly. But they're prepared for conflict. If opposed, they seem to view the galaxy as their rightful territory. How many worlds do they currently control? Councillor Zeph inquired. Just their homeworld, but they're planning to colonize 100 worlds in the next 20 years. 100 worlds. Several council members spoke at once. Fellow members, Morden continued. In all our history, we've never encountered a species like this. They're not afraid of the unknown. They don't seek protection. They see the galaxy as an opportunity, not a threat. What do you recommend? Asked Ambassador Lyra. I don't know, Morden admitted. Every protocol we have assumes new species will be cautious and defensive. These humans are neither. Are they hostile? General Orcs asked. Not yet. But they're expanding, whether we approve or not. The question is, what do we do about it? The 3 council members looked at each other with worry. Could we stop them? Councillor Zeph asked quietly. Their technology is advancing rapidly, Morden replied. Their ships are already faster than ours. They're building more ships every year, and they have military experience we lack. What does that mean? Ambassador Lyra asked. It means, Morden said sadly, that if we try to stop them and fail, we may have created the very conflict we were trying to prevent. Then what are our options? General Orcs demanded. We could try to negotiate with them. Set boundaries, establish rules, and if they refuse, Morden looked around at all the worried faces on the holographic displays. Then we learn to live in a galaxy with humans in it. Ambassador Han Soyoung was Earth's newest appointment to handle galactic relations. She was a calm, intelligent woman who had spent years studying alien cultures through intercepted communications. Today, she was meeting with Ambassador Velt to discuss the future. Ambassador Veltar, Han said as they sat in a comfortable meeting room. We understand you're concerned about human expansion plans. Concerned, Veltar's yellow eyes widened. Ambassador Han, your species wants to colonize 100 worlds in 20 years. That's faster expansion than any species in galactic history. Is that bad? Han asked honestly. Veltar stared at her. Most species are happy to have 1 or 2 colony worlds. You want hundreds. Earth has 8 billion people, Han explained. We need room to grow. We don't want to damage our homeworld by overcrowding it. But the galaxy has rules about expansion. What rules? Han asked. No one ever told us about any rules. Well, there are ... traditions, understandings. New species usually stay close to their homeworlds. Why? Veltar found himself struggling to answer. Because ... because space is dangerous. So is Earth, Han said with a smile. We have earthquakes, storms, floods, volcanoes. Humans adapt. Before Veltar could respond, Captain Lim Minho entered the room. He was a test pilot for Earth's newest experimental ships, and he looked excited. Ambassador Han, Captain Lim said, I just finished testing the new Mark 7 Explorer ship. You wanted me to show the results to our guest. Yes, please, Han said. Ambassador Veltar, Captain Lim has been testing our latest ship designs. Captain Lim activated a holographic display. A sleek ship appeared in the air above the table. This is our newest long-range exploration vessel, Lim explained proudly. It can travel from Earth to the Andromeda Galaxy in 6 months. Andromeda Galaxy, Veltar whispered, that's 2 million light-years away. Yes, Lim said cheerfully. We're not planning to go there soon, but it's nice to know we could, if we wanted to. Your ship can travel that far. This one can. It's designed for really long trips. It has everything needed to support a crew for 10 years. In deep space, Veltar felt dizzy. 10 years. We learned from our ocean explorers, Han explained. Human explorers used to spend years at sea, far from home. Space exploration just requires bigger ships. But why would you want to travel so far? Captain Lim looked surprised by the question. To see what's out there, to find new worlds, to meet new species, to learn new things. Aren't you afraid of getting lost, of running into hostile species, of never coming home? There are risks, Lim admitted, but that's what makes it exciting. Exciting, Veltar repeated. Yes. Think about it. Whole galaxies full of new worlds, new life forms, new discoveries. How could we not want to explore them? Veltar put his head in his hands. Your species sees the entire universe as something to explore. Well, yes, Han said. Isn't that what intelligence is for? To understand the universe around us. Most species use intelligence to make their homeworld safer and more comfortable. We do that too, Captain Lim said. But we also use it to expand our horizons. Han activated her own display. It showed detailed maps of nearby star systems. Ambassador Veltar, we've been studying galactic communications for 50 years. We know there are hundreds of intelligent species out there. We want to meet them all. All of them, of course. Think of what we could learn from each other. Think of what we could accomplish together. But what if they don't want to meet you? Then, we'll respect that, Han said. But, we'll keep exploring in other directions. Other directions. Captain Lim grinned. The galaxy is big, but the universe is bigger. There are billions of other galaxies out there. Veltar stood up suddenly. You're planning to explore other galaxies. Eventually, Han said. Why not? Because no one does that. No one has done it yet, Captain Lim corrected. That doesn't mean it can't be done. But the distances, the time required, ... the resources. We have patience, Han said. We have determination. And we have very good technology. Speaking of technology, Captain Lim said, would you like to see our shipbuilding facilities? We're always interested in new ideas. Before Veltar could protest, they were walking through the largest shipyard on Earth. Massive construction, bays stretched out in all directions. Ships in various stages of completion filled the facility. We currently have 37 ships under construction, Han explained as they walked. 12 exploration vessels, 10 colony ships, 8 military vessels, and 7 experimental designs. Experimental designs, Veltar asked weakly. We're always trying new ideas, Captain Lim said. Faster engines, better life support systems, new weapons, improved defenses, new weapons. Oh yes, we hope we never need them. But space can be dangerous, pirates, hostile species, unknown threats. We like to be prepared. They stopped in front of a massive ship that was nearly complete. This is our newest colony ship, Han said proudly. It can carry 50,000 people and everything they need to build a new civilization. 50,000 people. Veltar stared at the enormous vessel per ship. Captain Lim said, we're building 20 of these. 1 million colonists, Veltar calculated quietly. For the first wave, Han corrected. If the initial colonies are successful, we'll build more ships and send more people. They continued walking through the shipyard. Veltar saw ships being built that were larger and more advanced than anything in the Hegemony Coalition fleet. Ambassador Veltar, Han said as they reached the end of the tour, we want you to understand something important. Humans aren't trying to conquer the galaxy. We're trying to join it. Join it. Yes, we want to be part of the galactic community. We want to trade, to share knowledge, to work together on big projects. What kind of big projects? Captain Lim's eyes lit up. Well, we have some ideas about exploring other galaxies. That would be easier with multiple species working together. You want to take other species with you to other galaxies. If they want to come, Han said, think about it. A joint expedition with the best minds from dozens of species. What could we discover? What could we accomplish? Veltar sat down on a nearby bench. His legs felt weak. Ambassador Han, he said slowly, do you understand what you're suggesting? Cooperation, Han replied. Partnership. You're suggesting reshaping the entire galaxy, only if everyone wants to. Captain Lim said, we're not going to force anyone, but you're going to expand whether we agree or not. Yes, Han said honestly, that's what humans do. We explore, we grow, we adapt, we survive, and if someone tries to stop you, Han was quiet for a moment. Then we'll have a problem, she said finally. But we hope it doesn't come to that. Veltar looked around at all the ships being built, at all the humans working enthusiastically on their expansion projects. Ambassador Han, he said, I need to contact my government immediately. Of course, she replied. Use any of our communication facilities, thank you. Veltar stood up slowly. I think the galaxy is about to change forever. We hope so, Captain Lim said cheerfully. Change is usually good. As Veltar walked away, Han and Captain Lim watched him go. Do you think they'll try to stop us? Captain Lim asked. Maybe, Han replied, but that would be a mistake. Why? Because trying to stop human expansion has never worked in our history, Han said quietly, and now we have the whole universe to expand into. The Emergency Galactic Council meeting was the largest in history. Representatives from over 200 species gathered virtually in the Great Council chamber. President Kong Haewon of Earth sat calmly at the center table, surrounded by holographic displays showing worried alien faces. President Kang, Elder Morden began. Thank you for accepting our invitation to address the galactic community. Thank you for inviting us. President Kong replied with a warm smile. We've been looking forward to meeting our neighbors for many years. We understand your species has ambitious expansion plans. Counselor Zeph said carefully. We prefer to call them growth plans. President Kong corrected gently. Humans need room to grow, and space has plenty of room. But your expansion rate concerns many of our member species. General Orcs said bluntly. 100 worlds in 20 years is unprecedented. Is it? President Kong asked. How long did it take your species to expand to multiple worlds? The military alliance took 300 years to establish colonies on 5 worlds. General Orcs replied proudly. 300 years for 5 worlds. President Kang repeated thoughtfully. That does seem slow. Uncomfortable murmurs came from many of the alien representatives. President Kang, Ambassador Lyra said diplomatically, we're concerned about the impact of rapid human expansion on galactic stability. What kind of impact? President Kang asked. Competition for resources, territorial disputes, cultural conflicts. Those are valid concerns, President Kang agreed. That's why we want to work with everyone to avoid those problems. How? Elder Morden asked. Communication, cooperation, shared benefits. At that moment, Grand Admiral Park Junisio entered the chamber. He was the commander of Earth's exploration fleet, a tall man with sharp eyes and a confident manner. I'm sorry I'm late, Admiral Park said, taking his seat next to President Kong. We were launching the first wave of colony ships. A shocked silence filled the chamber. You launched colony ships during these negotiations? General Quarks demanded. Of course, Admiral Park replied. The launches were scheduled months ago. Did you expect us to cancel them? We hoped you might wait until we reached an agreement, Elder Morden said weakly. An agreement about what? President Kang asked. We're not asking permission to expand. We're offering to cooperate as we expand. But what if we don't want you to expand? Counselor Zeph asked. Then you don't want us to expand, Admiral Park said simply, but we're going to expand anyway. That sounds like a threat. General Quarks said angrily. No, President Kong said calmly. It's just reality. Humans expand. We always have, we always will. The question is whether we do it alone or with friends. Friends, Ambassador Lyra asked. Yes, we'd much rather have galactic partners than galactic opponents. What kind of partnership are you offering? Elder Morden asked carefully. Admiral Park activated a holographic display showing detailed star maps. We've identified over 3,000 worlds suitable for colonization in this galaxy alone, he explained. We can't possibly use them all ourselves. 3,000 worlds. Several aliens spoke at once. At least 3,000, President Kong confirmed. We'd be happy to share that information with species interested in expansion. Share it, Counselor Zeph asked suspiciously. Free of charge, Admiral Park said. We'd also be willing to help with terraforming projects, provide transportation, share technology. Why would you do that? General Quarks demanded. Because cooperation benefits everyone, President Kong explained. If we help you establish new colonies, you become stronger. If you become stronger, you become better partners and better friends. And if we refuse your help, Ambassador Lyra asked, then you refuse, Admiral Park said. We'll still expand, we'll still be friendly, but you'll miss out on the benefits of partnership. What about territorial boundaries? Elder Morden asked. What about them? President Kong replied. How do we prevent conflicts over territory? Simple, Admiral Park said, expanding the star map. Space is huge. There's room for everyone. The map showed the local galaxy with thousands of stars marked in different colors. Blue stars are systems humans are interested in, Admiral Park explained. But look how many stars there are. The aliens stared at the display. There were hundreds of thousands of stars. Even if humans colonized 10,000 worlds, President Kang said, that's still less than 1% of available systems. 10,000 worlds, Elder Morden whispered. Eventually, Admiral Park said cheerfully, we're thinking long-term. How long-term? Counselor Zeph asked faintly. A few thousand years, maybe, President Kang replied. Humans are patient when we need to be, and after you've colonized 10,000 worlds in this galaxy, General Quarks asked. Then we'll probably start looking at other galaxies, Admiral Park said, but that's far in the future. The chamber fell completely silent. Other galaxies, Ambassador Lyra repeated. Oh yes, President Kong said, the universe has billions of galaxies. Think of the possibilities. President King Elder Morden said slowly, are you suggesting humans will eventually expand beyond this galaxy? Why not? Admiral Park asked. Our technology keeps improving. Our ships keep getting faster. Our people keep having children who want new places to explore. But the distances, the time required. We have time, President Kang said simply. And we have determination. What role do you see for other species in these plans? Ambassador Lyra asked. Whatever role you want, President Kong replied. Partners, friends, fellow explorers, the choice is yours, and if we choose to oppose human expansion, General Quarks asked bluntly. President Kong's expression became serious for the first time. That would be unfortunate. Unfortunate how? Because it would be pointless. Admiral Park said, you can't stop human expansion. You can only decide whether you want to benefit from it or not. That sounds like a threat, General Quarks repeated. No, President Kong said firmly. It's an observation based on human history. In our entire history, no one has ever successfully stopped human expansion for long, but many groups have benefited greatly from partnering with us. What kind of benefits? Counselor Zeph asked. Admiral Park activated another display. This one showed technological specifications and trade agreements, advanced ship designs, terraforming technology, faster-than-light communication systems, medical advances, energy production methods. You'd share all of this? Elder Morden asked. With our partners, yes. President Kong confirmed. We believe cooperation makes everyone stronger. What do you want in return? Ambassador Lyra asked. Friendship, President Kong said simply. Trade, knowledge, exchange, mutual support. And if we say no to partnership? General Quarks asked. Then you say no, Admiral Park replied. We'll still be polite neighbors, but you won't get the benefits of cooperation. The alien representatives looked at each other through their holographic displays. They had never encountered a situation like this. President Kang, Elder Morden said finally, you're asking us to accept a complete change in galactic order. We're not asking, President Kang corrected gently. We're informing you that change is coming whether you accept it or not. We're offering you the chance to shape that change instead of just reacting to it. And if we try to prevent this change, General Quarks demanded,